So I've done a lot of things right. I would say that I am living my dream life. I'm married. I have two amazing kids. At the time of this masterclass, my daughter's 15, my son is 12. They're doing really well. I get to speak all over the country, actually globally, because I have to count Canada, of course, and other places that I'll be going in this upcoming year. And so I speak globally about burnout. I also get to work with clients individually, which is also my passion. And so I figured out how to have balance. I have fun, I hang out, I rest, I vacation. I'm able to budget and maintain my lifestyle. And so it's been the lot of things right has been, how do I say this, has been on track. And so what I like to say to you is that it's definitely possible. Often we talk about balance. There's a lot of different terminology about balance. There is work-life balance, and some people say, well, work-life balance is not possible. So then there's work-life harmony, right? There's a way to meet the two together, and then there's work-life flow. So it's like we don't necessarily want to have an equal balance. But there's a flow of ways where work and life coincide and flow between each other. What I'd like to add is that I agree with all of those sentiments, right? And so I use the term balance, meaning that there's a way to have the best of both things. They don't have to be separate. They can be together. So part of what I've done right is figuring out balance, figuring out how to ebb and flow with my work life and my home life. Okay, so I've also done a lot of things wrong. I would say it was probably 2011 when I opened my private practice. And so before then, I was a clinical director for a couple of large agencies here in Atlanta, Georgia. And at the time, as a newly licensed psychologist, this was 2007-ish, I'll say. I was eager to be a licensed clinical psychologist, eager to be a clinical director, eager to make decisions about mental health for our community. And so as you can imagine, going into these positions, my first thought was, I'm going to work really, really hard. And I'm going to be the very best at what I do. Now, if you're like me, you receive some early childhood messages about hard work, right? There's a lot of talk about work, no talk about rest. And so when I entered that part of my career, I was off balance. At the time, my daughter was 2 years old, and I remember driving her, changing her daycare over so she'll be closer to my office, driving her to daycare, going to work for 8 hours, picking her up from daycare, bringing her back to my office, and working again for maybe another 4 or 5 hours until sometimes 11 or midnight. And it was almost like she lived at work with me. And we did this for quite some time until it got to the point where I was just completely exhausted, irritable, not able to really think clearly. I gained some weight just from eating junk along the way. Believe it or not, I was eating like 3 taco supremes at Taco Bell. Oh my gosh, like, can you even believe that was my life? And so I said, okay, this is not for me. So then I went to another job as a clinical director. They offered more flexibility. Believe it or not, I ended up in the same situation of overworking. We had an audit. I'm like, okay, I have to be the best. I have to work hard. We have to pass this audit. This is all on me. And think about if these messages have ever crossed your mind in your own position. So this is all on me. At this time, I was pregnant with my son, who is 12 now. And the straw that broke the camel's back was that we had an audit, and I ended up sleeping in the office. There's not like a fluffy bed or anything. You can imagine me 9 months pregnant, sleeping in my office, like on the floor, on the chair, on the floor, on the chair, back and forth, because I wanted to do a good job, work hard. then it hit me like, this is not sustainable. And so a bunch of things happened, and I decided to open my own private practice, because guess what? If we're in charge of our own time, then that means that we won't be overworked, right? Wrong. Wrong. It was even worse when I opened my own private practice. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm in charge, I'm the boss, I set the hours, I do, whatever I want to do. And I ended up overworking even more. And so at that point, I'm like, you know what, girl, it's not them, it's you. And that's what I want to say to you all. Take some time to think about whether it's them or you. I guarantee that it's a combination of both, but the part that you can control is you. And I'm here to help you do that.